Welcome to week 14 of On Top the Cage. Doing the math at home, that's 2 touchdowns, 2 extra points. Week 14 already, Dan.
That's insane. I'm so disappointed college football's basically over.
Bowl season, yeah, we're on the bowl season. And the playoffs. We're going to talk about college football for a second. The Buckeyes squeaked in. They got a little help on last Friday night with the USC Trojans losing to Utah.
Got a lot of help by a Utah team that I think is outstanding, and I think Utah should be in the playoff. I can't wait till they do the expanded playoff, but, man, that team looks good.
It did look really good, and I think I texted you, and, like, when they go to that 12-team format, I think it's 2024. We got another year of college football before we get to that, but yeah, they'd be a dangerous, like, 9 seed or something like that. Yes.
Yeah, they look really good.
It'll be a lot of fun. It's like, well, Dan's wearing a hat, but it's not too terribly cold. It's like 45 degrees out here tonight. We got a good night for the show.
94% humidity.
It's thick. It's thick out here a little bit, so we still got a couple of heaters on.
You walk outside, you get moist.
No, I think it's causing me not to have holiday spirit, man. I tell you what, last Saturday.
Feels like Easter.
Yeah, or spring, like one of those shitty spring days. Yeah, it does kind of feel like that. I need to get more holiday spirit. Like last Saturday, I watched the men's national team. They bowed out of the tournament against the Netherlands.
That was a bummer.
It was at 10 in the morning, and usually I do all kinds of stuff, run errands, do some Christmas shopping, whatever I do. I didn't even leave the house. I don't know. I need some more holiday spirit for sure. So, anyway.
I should have come pick you up when I ran my errands then.
What'd you do?
Went to Lowe's, Schaefer's. Where else did I go?
Yeah, later on I did nothing. I did nothing.
I ran to Acme too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You got your shit done.
Yeah.
After that disappointing
Washed
performance.
my car, my Jeep, washed it. Then I went drinking with my wife.
That's good. Where'd you go?
Gasoline Alley and then Old 97.
Ooh, that's a ways away. That's like 20, 30 minutes away up in Fairlawn, right?
Oh, yeah. Bath.
Yeah.
Well, she wanted to go to gasoline, or not Old 97 first, and I'm like,
what's that? What is that? I don't even know what that is.
That's that Kenmore bar.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, why
don't
we go to the furthest place and hit that on the way home?
Right, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Especially when you're driving, I'm assuming.
Yes, and then when I get to Old 97, I find out the 2 bartenders are from Hoban, and the guy sitting next to me at the bar is from Hoban.
That doesn't go well. That's a rival high school of Dan's, rival Catholic high school in the area of Dan's St. Mary. So, anyway. You any Christmas cards yet?
Did I get any Christmas card? Yo, I got the one from the Republic guy. It's in the garage, baby.
He was the first guy.
Yes.
He put, I don't know, on mine, they put like Gorilla tape on it. It wasn't going anywhere. He was going to make sure we saw it.
Yeah, and for the Republic is our trash service. So it's our garbage man, and it's a nice family portrait, of him in front of his rig.
Right.
And it's got his address on there.
Yeah, didn't have the GoFundMe link, but it was pretty close, right?
Yeah.
If anybody owes in this neighborhood, though, the trash guy for a Christmas present, it's me, man. We create so much damn trash here. It's unbelievable.
Well, that's what I said to my wife. I'm like, that dude should be sending me something because my trash is nice, neat, and orderly out there. And some of my neighbors, I'm like, holy crap, that's freaking unbelievable what they do to these guys.
Not me, man. I owe the trash guy, I think. So, anyway.
Do you have your picture? I wonder if it's the same dude. Do you still have it?
I didn't. Trash guy, I promise you, I didn't immediately throw it in the trash. It made the counter. I'm not sure where it went from there. It possibly could.
Shit, he put it in Ziploc bags. Too.
Oh, yeah. He was ready, yeah. Like, he was prepared for the elements and everything else. So.
I mean, I think it was Kevin. We talked about this before. I think it was last Christmas, and your dad always used to put like a 6-pack out there for the guy.
That's awesome.
And I was like, well, I would put a 6-pack, but some friggin' kid in my neighborhood would
be
take
gone.
it.
Yeah, gone, yeah. The scrapper would get it for sure that comes by. Oh, shoot. I got one other. My buddy Shannon used to be my paralegal. Very nice Christmas card. He had a whole write-up in regards to how their year went. It sounds like they had a very good year. They moved into a new home and things like that. So, do you guys send out Christmas cards?
No, we stopped doing that.
We did. Well, when I got divorced, I was going to do all those household things, and I sent out Christmas cards for like 2 or 3 years. And then I got remarried, and I'm like, Katie's like, no, we don't do that.
Well, it was
so we stopped.
For a while, we used to get a card from you with you and the boys.
Oh, yeah. Good.
And then
that was
with
it.
your ex and the boys. And
yeah.
now we don't get any cards anymore.
I was trying to compete, I guess, back then in my fresh divorceness, if you will. So Anyway, that's fine. Let's do the beer review. It is the Battle of Ohio this week. The Browns travel to Cincinnati, and the beer is themed from that. It is from the Great Lakes Brewing, which is up here, right?
Yes.
So I've never seen this beer, right? I've never seen this beer.
I've never seen it either.
I was down in Dayton for Thanksgiving, and I was at the Kroger there. Kroger dominates the grocery stores down there. I found this beer. I'm like, I've never seen it. It's pretty awesome. I like it.
Shit. Yeah, I've never seen it up here.
No, I know, right?
I like how they have it labeled Cincinnati, and it says 16 ounces here. In Cleveland,
what's it say?
It looks like 50. So we'll see the score.
It's only
5% alcohol.
Do you know what 50 West is? Because I failed to look it up. It's just a regular Pilsner beer. It's nothing. It's an actual highway, but it has nothing to do. You would think it would say Interstate 71, maybe, or something like that. From
that might be trademarked by the federal government.
I don't know. It's just a regular Pilsner beer. It's 5%.
50 West,
so
I don't know.
Nothing exciting. Probably going to taste a lot like a Miller Lite or Bud Light, but I do think a lot of, the Great Lakes Brewery Company. You might hear my dog in the background. Uh-oh. I don't know if I poured it very well. We might just have to do cameos with the dogs out here tonight. The reason why the dogs are...
Oh, wait. I think it's another brewery.
What?
Yeah.
It says it right.
No, this is the little thing on the back. We love a good rivalry, and so do our friends at 50 West.
Oh, 50. So you think 50 West is another brewery?
Who hiked up from Cincinnati to the land to huddle up with our brewers and craft this snappy, crushable Pilsner. Go team. So 50 West must be a brewery in Cincinnati.
So there we go. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Great Lakes is at the top and 50 West is
and it says something about a collaboration. You got to be right. What does it say up top? Superstar collab or something like that?
Yes. So 50 West must be something in Cincinnati. There must be a 50 West down there. It must be a state route like 224 up here.
Probably. We figured it out. There we go. We did some math. I figured it out, I guess.
Math? I just read.
All right, I did some. What did we do then? Some English, some literature? I don't know what we did. Anyway, we figured it out. So you might hear the dogs in the background over there. They're pawing at the door already. My wife is not here. She's usually here. She usually starts the button on the computer.
I don't know. Maybe that might not be up here because it's not that good.
It's a regular Bud Light, Miller Lite type beer.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to let the dogs out and see how this goes. This could go really bad.
It's going to go really bad because some of the stuff might get knocked over.
That might happen.
We might be off the air for a minute.
Come on, guys. Oliver? All right, we got Oakley and Tucker out here. In any event, they're part of the show tonight, I guess. But what I was getting to is my wife. Hi, Tuck. My wife is not here. She's at the neighborhood ladies' Christmas party. So. I think it's called the Mingle Jingle. In any event, there's usually some...
Wait, Mingle Jingle?
Jingle Mingle?
Is that
Mingle
the guy
Jingle?
that's showing up dancing for him?
Oakley. All right, I told you.
What are you doing, Oakley? What are you doing?
He's making an appearance.
What are you doing?
Go bark at somebody.
Who's here?
There you go.
Go check it out.
There you go. They'll come back, knock over shit, I'm sure. Anyway, she's there. Usually some stories come out of that. I've heard stories
Her and Mingle Jingle?
Jingle Mingle? Mingle Jingle?
Yeah. Is
Jingle
that
Mingle?
the dude's name?
No. What?
That's a code name for the dancer?
What dancer? I don't know where we're going with this right now.
The male dancer that's coming to the women's Christmas party?
I don't think so. They do. Well, they have plenty of drinks. I've heard stories of vomiting and
vomiting.
Yeah, it's like people have indulge too much, and there's competitive Christmas presents. I think they had to bring like a $25 or $30 Christmas present, and they have this thing where you can steal. So I think it gets competitive. And anyway, she's there tonight. The dogs are out here. Oakley's going to be a problem. I knew it. Anyway.
Huh? Hey, I'm on TV. Yeah, I'm on TV.
Speaking of Oakley's the biggest scaredy cat. He, outside of our household, he loves Dan, and that's like pretty much it. Yeah. Oak, you got to get down, buddy. Anyway.
Well, we're going to have to get you a chair.
This leads right into one of the stories I have for the intro here, which is the household animal update. We have 3 dogs. Everybody knows them. Oakley, Tucker, and Oliver. My son Ethan, who just came out here to get something out of the fridge. Hopefully it's not alcohol. In any event, he has quite a few animals himself. He has recently had 2 ferrets. One recently passed away, unfortunately. He has a bird. But then we had another house guest last Saturday night. So what happens is I'm out here, Katie's out here, and Ethan comes barreling down the steps. There's two sets of steps. The back steps is right next to where we're out here in the garage. He comes barreling down the steps, and he's like, I was going pee, and there's a flying squirrel in the garage, in the bathroom. So anyway, I'm like, holy shit, here we go again. So luckily...
Did you pull a Clark Griswold and get the Santa coat and a hammer?
Well, I had to get tools. We don't exactly have tools for this. That's great. But luckily it was in one of the smallest rooms in the house, which is one of the bathrooms upstairs. So it was confined, which is good. So I'm like, fine. I go up there. I had to scope it out before I get any tools. I go up there, and sure enough, there's this little squirrel-looking thing with a long tail and whatever. So I kind of size up the situation and go look for tools. And the tools of trade this time ended up being a collapsible, like, laundry basket thing. But also, I went downstairs and found, like, this fishing net that the kids used to anyway, get out like minnows from the ocean and things like that. So we got that. And it's Ethan and I up there. It's a pretty confined space. First of all,
this is like you in the movie Great Outdoors with John Candy and Dan Aykroyd trying to get the bat.
Yeah, something like that. Something like
you
that.
Got a fishing net. You got a full freaking catcher's mitt on.
I did not put any gear on, but those are the tools we had. It took a while. Those fuckers are quick. They jump and fly, whatever. I don't think they fly. I don't know. Ethan says a flying squirrel. I don't know. It can jump, though, and it was difficult. It was running along the top of the bathroom or the shower curtain and things like that. Eventually, we're like banging it around enough to try to get somewhere. Here's how it happens. The thing jumps on my friggin' back. It's on my back. Or
here we go.
Near my
with
back.
a tennis racket, whack
Right.
it.
Ethan's got the net. He grabs and hits it with the net. And anyway, he corralled it. We put a towel around it. We got it out. So, but my wife is like
Did
having...
you shoot the damn thing?
No, we don't hurt animals here. We let it out outside of the perimeter where the dogs can go, and he or she went on its way. So, but meanwhile, my wife's having none of that stuff. She wants to burn the house down, type of thing. So, I mean, it's and she gets mad at me like it's my fault or something like that.
Well,
so
you bought this house, Ken. Come on.
and then I'm like trying to argue with her about it. I'm like, look, this happened like 2 years ago when we had the enormous Christmas tree. It probably came in from the Christmas tree. It's just, she's not like the circumstantial evidence argument at all. Like, she was not having it. So anyway, that was some craziness that happened over here on Saturday.
So wait, is it still in here?
No, fuck no, we got it. I told you we got it.
You got it on Saturday? Mm-hmm. Oh, because I thought there was another incident.
Not that I'm aware of. So anyway, yeah, that was the wild Saturday fun, I suppose, that happened here at our house. I don't know. So World Cup.
I'm out bar hopping and you're squirrel hunting.
That's right. So
all right, Uncle Si.
Yeah. Is that a reference to what is that thing called?
Duck Dynasty.
Duck Dynasty. So anyway, last week. Oh no, I got more stories. So Keaton sends me a clip. My son Keaton. He's like, hey, I'm in this podcast or whatever. Apparently we've spawned this new generation of kids, Keaton's friends, that like to do podcasts. And we mentioned Davis earlier on the show. He has his own little podcast called Hang Time, I think it is. And then Keaton apparently did some guest appearance on this other kid's show, Ryan, where they pick the game straight up and things like that. And it's all
football
fun.
Games?
Yeah.
This is our competition?
I guess. They pick them straight up. They don't pick them against the spread. But they were having a good time. I think it needs spiced up a little bit. There's a couple of good moments. It needs a little bit more exciting.
They better not have more followers.
No, get real. They need a beer review or something like that.
Well, they're freaking in high school. So, I mean, Cindy Brown might have a problem with that.
They are. I think they shoot it to high school, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, there'd be a big problem if they're doing a beer review there. They may as well freaking do a gun review, too.
Oh, goodness. Oh, jeez. Don't want to do that. So, anyway, last week, Dan went 5-10. Not his best week. He is currently 91-104. He is 9 games under 500. I went 7-8 last week. Wasn't my greatest week either. I'm 101, 90-4 on the year. 11 games over 500.
Are you delivering those?
Yeah.
To Katie?
Yeah.
What are they?
Bud Lights.
To Katie?
Yeah.
No. She can take other beers. No, Dan needs those here.
She says for someone else.
Okay. Dan's not happy about that one bit. So, anyway.
I was like, well, where's he going?
What a mess of a show this is this week so far. Anyway.
It's freaking fantastic. I get to watch, an 8th grader drive around with 2 Bud Lights in the golf cart.
Right. My wife doesn't drink beer. She doesn't drink Bud Light. She drinks Miller Lite if she does.
Where's this party at?
It's down the street.
We should be filming there.
It's like, yeah, it's like 8 houses down. So we'll see how that all shakes out. Recapping, I went 7-8 last week. I'm 101-90-4 on the year. 11 games over 500. That's good. Dan, we both hit our elephant picks. You did with Minnesota. I did with your Cleveland Browns. Dan's 5-8 on the year. On that, I'm 11-2.
Oh my God! Thank God the defense showed up and the special teams finally. We returned a kick. So that was the first punt return we returned since 2015.
It's on the board, man.
Jeez.
Yeah. How about 11-2 though, Dan? You gotta. That's unbelievable. I'm gonna try to keep it going this week for you guys. So.
Okay, go ahead and try.
I will. All right, we on the slate?
Yeah, let's go.
All right,
did we do? Well, did we talk about the World Cup?
Not a lot. Briefly, when we talked about when I did nothing on Saturday besides watch that. It was exciting. Well, they got within a goal. They gave up. Well, the killer goal was the goal right before the half. Where
yes.
They were down 1-0. It was the same fucking play.
Yeah.
Which is super annoying. They weren't marking the guy coming on the crosser in the middle. Yeah.
Wide ass open.
Yeah, the whole net's available to him. Like it's done like an angle. He's got the whole net available to him. He banged it home both times. United States got within the goal like in the 60-minute marker.
Then they scored again.
Like immediately. Like
yeah.
So anyway, they bowed out. What do you think about Berhalter? You think he should be the coach going forward?
Yeah, I like him.
Do you really?
They're missing a scorer up top, somebody that people are afraid of, that you have to defend around. The U.S. just doesn't have that, and by the next World Cup they will.
Yeah.
They'll find some
That
kid.
Pepe guy or whatever his name is?
I don't know if it'll be him, but they'll find somebody. They'll be all right. I mean, they're good. They're young.
They are young. They are young. It was fun to watch them play, and Dan's still following. It's just hard to follow along because the games are all like either at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. and our real jobs get in the way, most of the time. So, anyway, Thursday Night Football, the Vegas Raiders travel to play the Los Angeles Rams. Vegas is a 6-point favorite in
Why
this
couldn't
game.
they flex this?
Over-under is 43.5. They don't flex Thursday games. They flex Sunday games, I think. Anyway, Vegas 6-point favorites in this game. They come off of their win against the Los Angeles Chargers. They are winners of 3 in a row. They're not dead. Like I said, they're 5-7. Devontae Adams is starting to show out. Josh Jacobs leads the
Dude, how stupid
league
does the
in
Raiders
rushing.
look for not taking that 5th-year option?
I don't think it's that bad. I mean, those guys are plug and play, man. I don't think Josh Jacobs is the best running back in the National Football League. He happens to be leading the league in rushing, but anyway, in the
You
Rams.
don't think he's the best, but he's leading the league in rushing.
I don't think he's the best running back in the National Football
How's he
League.
leading the league rushing? And they're on.
He's had a couple of monster weeks
behind
recently,
him?
so I don't know who's all there.
Nick Chubb is, and we suck too.
So
We're
yeah,
at the
I'm
same
sure Chubb's
record.
right there. So anyway, the Rams, they're 3-9. They've had a tough season. They come off of their home loss in Seattle. They were very game. John Wolford played quarterback there. They added Baker Mayfield this week off of the waiver wire. So I don't know if they'll put a package in for him already on Thursday night or not. Maybe they do. I mean, Stafford's out for the year. I mean, they've been a huge flop this year. Raiders, like I said, 3 wins in a row. They're going to keep this going, and that's a pretty good number.
I'm going to go with the Raiders.
I'm going to lay it, too, with the Raiders. I'm going to lay the momentum. We'll see. I don't think Wolford's a horrible quarterback, but, I mean, they just don't have anything to play for. And it's that time of season where sometimes teams fold, especially if they go down early and they don't have anything to play for. They were both on the Raiders -6.
Yep.
All right, Sunday early slate starts with the New York Jets playing Buffalo. Big AFC East game. Jets are 7-5. Buffalo is 9-3. Buffalo 9-point favorite in this game. Over/under is 44. The Jets come off a loss in Minnesota where they probably should have won the game. Mike White played pretty well again. They played pretty good defense, although they gave up quite a few. I mean, they were there at the goal line at the end, and they couldn't get it in. Barrios dropped the ball where they probably would have won the game if he catches it. They're not a bad football team. Buffalo, they come off of their win against New England. It was a pretty good beatdown. They're a good football team. They made a better effort to run the ball, for sure. They're currently the first seed in the AFC right now based upon Kansas City's loss in Cincinnati last week. That's a big number. Buffalo -9 over the Jets.
Well, I mean, why the hell can't I think of his name? But what's his name's out? Torn ACL. He's done.
Von Miller, yeah. He thought he was going to come back. He's their best defensive player, most likely.
Yeah, I mean, that changed that defense, gave them a different look. Somebody you had to contend with. I mean, their defense was good already, but adding him, he's out. I mean, even if he was, we knew he was going to miss this game. 9's too big of a number. I'm going with the Jets.
Me too. I like the Jets defense. I like them to keep this game under that number. I don't know if they come out of Orchard Park with a win, but I expect them to be game in Buffalo. I like their chances of keeping this game tight. I'm going to go with the Jets as well. Next game on the board, the Battle of Ohio, Dan. Cleveland goes to Cincinnati. The beer review, we did it for that, even though it's a lousy tasting beer, in my opinion. I like more flavorful beers. It's just a regular Pilsner beer is what it is. So, Cincinnati, 6-point favorites in this game. Over-under is 47. Talk about the away team first. Cleveland's 5-7 on the year now. They come off their win in Houston. Dan mentioned it. What do you think about Deshaun Watson?
He looked like shit.
Looked like he hadn't played in 2 years, right?
Yeah, he looked like shit.
You want to know how bad fucking Houston is? The Browns did not score an offensive touchdown and won the game by 13. That's bad. That's really freaking bad. Obviously, they got a punt return that sparked them. They got a couple of defensive touchdowns, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Fantasy owners probably going crazy over the Cleveland Browns if somebody was playing them. But anyway.
Suck. We lost another linebacker out for the year, torn ACL. I mean, our linebackers suck. I don't. We've had Cincinnati's number. We play well against Cincinnati. Burrow has not beaten the Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland, 5 straight wins against Cincinnati, running right now.
That sticks in his head. I think they turn the corner and beat the Browns this week.
Yeah, lay the 6 with Cincinnati.
Unfortunately, I am. Just because Watson, I don't think has. If this wasn't Watson's,
you gotta certainly play better last week.
Holy shit, he looked like shit.
Yeah, the Browns fans had to be nervous about that.
If Brissett was playing, it's a different story.
Yeah.
I mean, the games we lost, maybe one of them, I could say, okay, Brissett didn't play good, but the other one, I mean, he played lights out.
He's played fairly okay. Yeah. Lights out might be a little strong, but anyway.
I mean, he wasn't the reason we lost the game. With Deshaun in there, I'm like, holy crap, dude. Unless you just run the ball down their throat. And I don't know why the hell. I like, Kareem Hunt, but they don't use him enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why he's not on the field with Nick Chubb. You know, they run those tight end packages, and you could put Nick Chubb in there as a tight end. There's so much more stuff with the two of them on the field. You're just creating mismatches.
Yeah, I think they're not utilizing their stud running back stable enough. Anyway, Cincinnati wants to get -6 in the game. Come off an impressive win at Kansas City, or against Kansas City. They seem to have Kansas City's number as well. They've won 3 in a row against Kansas City now. They're tied for first in that AFC North. They lose the tiebreaker to the Ravens, but they certainly look like the better football team than the Ravens. I can tell you that much. They got 4 wins in a row. They're making their run, man. They're the defending AFC champs. They're making their run. They're -6. Dan, you're taking the points or you're giving them?
No, I'm taking the Browns.
He just waffled completely. I'm going to go the other way. I like the way Cincinnati's playing. I like Joe Burrow's mentality. I think he knows that he's lost 3 games in a row, or never beaten the Browns, if you will. I think it happens this weekend. I think it happens by a touchdown or more. I'm on Cincinnati -6. Next game on the board, speaking of battles of states, it's the Battle of Texas. If you want to call it a battle. It is the Houston Texans traveling to play the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry's World. Dallas is a whopping 17-point favorite in this game. The over-under is 45. We just talked about Houston and their loss at home to Cleveland, and them not giving up an offensive touchdown, but still losing the game by 13. They did make their quarterback switch back to Davis Mills. They had run Kyle Allen out there the last couple of weeks. It didn't make any difference. I mean, there's a bad football team that lacks talent. Dallas, I mean, they come off an impressive win against Indianapolis, I guess. I mean, they scored...
Impressive?
They scored like 33 points or something in the fourth quarter, like alone. Like, it was crazy. Like, defensive touchdowns, like, reeling off right and left. Well, not just they were getting defensive plays and running the ball in. 33 in the fourth quarter. It's unbelievable. They're a contender. I mean, whether or not they can put it together, and have a good offensive and defensive showing at the same time when it comes to playoffs, because they're going to be in. But this is a whopping number at 17, Dan. You going to lay that whole boatload?
No, I'm not. I can't do 17.
I'm not either. I'm not either. It's the fact that Davis Mills is coming back and playing. I didn't see any of the Browns game. I know that Kyle Allen hasn't put up points at all for the Houston Texans offense. So
no.
Davis Mills is back. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean,
this is a big number.
This is
too big for me.
If you're cruising to a victory, too, at some point, don't you take Dak Prescott out? Don't you take your starters out?
Maybe.
Maybe.
They're not going to lose that much with Cooper Rush if that's what happens. But still, I like the points as well with Dan. We're both taking Houston in the points. All right, next game on the board, I think it's a really good game, actually. It's the Minnesota Vikings traveling to play the Detroit Lions. Detroit's a 1.5-point favorite, actually, in this football game. And look at the records. Detroit, what is their record? I can't see. There's a glare on the thing. They're 5-7 on the year. And Minnesota's 10-2.
How the hell are they favored?
The Lions are favored because they're playing so well. We talked about Minnesota already earlier. They come off of their home win against the Jets, where it was a little bit of a shootout, and they very well could have lost that game at the end. They got plenty of offensive firepower. Their defense has to certainly play better. I mean, I think they gave up 26 points to the Jets. Detroit's been scoring points like crazy. I mean, their offense is good. Nobody stopped them. They came off an absolute beatdown at home against Jacksonville. I mean, they beat them like 40-14 or something like that. Their defense isn't exactly anything to write home about, but this is a huge game. They're not out of the wild card race either. They're 5-7. Detroit minus 1.5 in this game, Dan. I'm going to take the lead. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions to cover the 1.5. I think they win this game at home against Minnesota.
Really?
Yes, Minnesota plays.
You picked Minnesota as your team, though.
I did, and they're still right there. Look at that record, 10-2. But they play so many close games, Minnesota, and they come out on the right side like every time this year almost.
Detroit's played so many close games too.
They do. Not last week. They blew out Jacksonville, and it was an impressive showing.
Jacksonville, though.
It is. I'm on the Lions minus 1.5, Dan.
I'm taking Minnesota.
All right, a lot of division games up on the board here tonight. Philadelphia travels to play the New York Giants. Philadelphia's 11-1 on the year. The Giants 7-4-1. Philadelphia full touchdown favorite in this game on the road. 7 over under is 45. Philadelphia comes off an impressive win against Tennessee. They had control of that game from the gate. I mean, they're a good football team.
Oh yeah, Philadelphia. I mean, the New York Giants, I think, have skated by. I think I've said it before. They're a little bit fraudulent team. I'm going with Philly on this. There's no way.
The Giants are off their tie, against the Washington Commanders. I mean, it's a really big division game.
The Commanders.
They did. They probably should have won the game. They gave up a late touchdown to Washington. They drove down the field it went into overtime. Like it exhausted the entire overtime, obviously. And they couldn't make the 58-yard field goal. It fell short. But anyway, tell you what, though.
Just humming.
They are. I mean,
Philly looks good.
They beat the shit out of Tennessee.
Yeah.
I tell you what,
how about Tennessee firing their general manager?
They did. In the middle of the season, that doesn't happen.
They just gave him a 6-year extension.
Really? I didn't know that. But that's just,
they're going to pay him the next 6 freaking years. Just in February.
That's just something that generally doesn't happen in season, firing a general manager. But it happened in Tennessee. Maybe it's because they traded A.J. Brown and A.J. Brown.
Well, that was all the
initial
stuff, yeah.
So, anyway, the NFC, I tell you what, they flexed their muscle last week because San Francisco beat a playoff team in Miami. Philadelphia beat a playoff team in Tennessee. And who was the other one? Minnesota beat the playoff team in the Jets. I mean, there was 3 games, NFC versus AFC, where all teams were, at that time, in the playoffs. And the NFC won all 3 of them. Philadelphia minus 7.
I'm on Philly.
I'm going to take the Giants in this game to keep it close. I don't know. I don't think they're going to win this game, but I think it gets under the number. I'm going to take the Giants getting the 7 points in this game. More division games coming up. Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Dan's got to love this game.
Yeah, look at this. Blow up the stadium.
Yeah, another thing with, like we talked about the Minnesota-Detroit game with the kind of the records mismatched. and the line being different. It's the same way in this game. Baltimore's 8-4 on the year. The Steelers are 5-7.
No,
Pittsburgh.
the line changed on this though when Lamar Jackson wasn't playing.
They hadn't been playing that well anyway. The Steelers are a 3-point favorite in this game. The over/under is 37. Baltimore comes off of their win against Denver. You know what? Talk about predicting shit right. Dan, we both picked Baltimore against Denver last week, given 8 points. It didn't happen. The game ends up being 10-9. But you did say something. You're like, yeah, I'm taking Baltimore. What's Denver going to get? 3 field goals, 9 points?
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
9 points.
That's exactly what happened.
The Ratbirds can't do shit.
Oh, shit. Speaking of that podcast that Keaton showed me the snippet of, well, it wasn't a snippet. I watched the whole damn thing. It was like 10 minutes. And they're giving their little predictions. And the Davis kid referred to the Ravens as the Ratbirds. You got to yell.
Hey, that's trademarked. You'll have to send me $1, dude.
Dan's got a groupie. Dan's got a little groupie there.
And if you say mud butt, that's $10.
There you go. Baltimore, they came off their very unimpressive win at home against Denver.
Baltimore's a mess.
Lamar's out for a few weeks, probably 3 to 4. I mean, that Tyler Huntley kid played really well last year when he played, and he didn't do a whole lot. They got a very, very, very late touchdown to win that football game against Denver. The offense is bad. I mean, it's bad. The passing game's non-existent. Pittsburgh, let's talk about them. I mean, Pickett's playing well, I think.
He's playing well.
For a kid who's played 8 games.
Him. I mean, that's what you need. The defense is playing well. Minka Fitzpatrick, he's back in there after his, appendectomy.
Right. They come off their win on the road in Atlanta. I mean, T.J. Watt means a lot to that team since he's come back. I think they're 3-1 in their last 4 games.
It's ridiculous.
So, are they going to win this game by a field goal?
Yeah, I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Me too. I mean, even though Tyler Huntley's like the mini-me of Lamar Jackson, maybe he shows out. Maybe he's just a little rusty and he plays really well. I don't know. But I like the Steelers in this game too. That 3 scares me. I wish it was 2.5.
Not against the Steelers.
No?
No.
I mean, big rivalry game. These teams don't like each other at all. They don't like each other at all. So we don't have all not rivalry games, all divisional games, do we? But the next game on the board is Jacksonville and Tennessee. Tennessee's a 4-point favorite in this game. The over-under is 42. We talked about Jacks earlier on the show when they got absolutely destroyed in Detroit. They put up 14 points. Trevor Lawrence got a little bit banged up. I think he's going to play. Their defense was just bad. I mean, it was really, really bad. I mean, this team has a lot of potential. Whether or not they can put it together. I mean, Tennessee's kind of reeling. I think that's 2 losses in a row for them. Once again, they're 4-point favorites. They're 7-5. They come off that loss in Philadelphia where they really weren't in the game. They haven't been. I mean, Derrick Henry's like stuck right now. He's like they can't get him going, and he's been. I think he had like 40-some yards in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
nothing.
And
if they can't do that, they can't do shit.
Because your quarterback works when your running game works. They don't have a good core of receivers. I'm kind of miffed. We talked about the general manager getting fired. Talk radio in town was like, what's his name? Ryan Day should be out, and we want Mike Vrabel.
Not going to happen.
I thought there might have been a chance, but when they got rid of the general manager, I'm like, okay, so Vrabel's the guy.
Yeah.
I
don't see that happening at all.
I don't see him going to Ohio State.
By the way, Ryan Day's Ohio State Buckeyes are in the college football championship.
Well, they got a Big 12 defensive coordinator that blows. And I've said, who hires a Big 12 defensive coordinator? Seriously.
There's no way there's talk about change in Columbus. There's no way. No way.
If the alumni's bitch enough.
I guess, but I don't see anything happening. But how about Tennessee? I mean, they're a tough football team. They've gotten bullied like the last 2 weeks. Cincinnati went into Tennessee a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, I guess, and out-muscled them, out-toughed them. And it happened again in Philadelphia last week where Tennessee just got beat up physically. I mean, are they going to change their DNA here and get back to that tough team that is, a really difficult out if they make the playoffs come wintertime? They're 4-point favorites against Jacks.
Man.
I'll take the lead. I'm going to lay it with Tennessee. I think Jack's going to be game. I think it'll be better. The Trevor Lawrence injury worries me a little bit. I think he will play. But Tennessee's going to get this thing back on track this week. They're -4. I'm going to lay it.
I'm taking them too.
All right, next game on the board, Kansas City plays in Denver. It is the start of the Sunday late slate. Kansas City is a 9-point favorite in Denver. Kansas City 9-3. Denver has the opposite record of 3-9. Kansas City comes off a very fun game where they lost in Cincinnati again. Once again, I mentioned it. Their third straight loss against the Cincinnati Bengals. But I don't know. I mean, they're a good football team. The Cincinnati seems to kind of have their number. And Denver's not a good football team. Defense is good. The offense is just horrible. Horrible.
And usually I'm like, Kansas City never covers, but I'm taking Kansas City in the 9 because they're pissed. Kelsey's pissed.
Kelsey had a subpar game. Yeah.
I mean, Denver they're awful.
Their defense is good. Their offense is really putrid. It really is.
Terrible.
It is. It's the lowest scoring offense in the National Football League, and then after he gave that monster contract to Russ Wilson, I mean that's a tough pill to swallow for that franchise for sure. I'm gonna lay it too. I like Kansas City to get back on track here. I mean they're gonna want to feed Kelsey. He's such a playmaker for them.
Man, this is our selection for the 4:00 games.
4:00. The next 4:00 game is the Carolina Panthers traveling out west cross country to play the Seattle Seahawks. Carolina 4-8, Seattle 7-5. Seattle 3.5 point favorites in this game. Over under 43.5. Carolina well rested comes off bye. News out of Carolina: they dumped Baker Mayfield. Sam Darnold looks like he's going to start the rest of the way going forward. They're kind of playing out the string. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, there's not much to talk about with Carolina, though. They've been game under Steve Wilkes, and they haven't seemed to quit, at all. They're not even necessarily out of that division. They're not really even out of that really horrible NFC South.
Not.
So they're still alive. The only two teams.
Seattle's battling, though. Seattle's got a good running game. What's his name? Penny? That rookie?
No. Kenneth Walker took that job. They're really banged up at the running back position. Kenneth Walker went down last week in the game against the Rams. So did DJ Dallas. The guy who came in third string is a guy from Notre Dame, Tony Jones Jr.
Yeah.
Ethan. Oakley wants more of Dan here. He's making further appearances on the show. Seattle, once again, 3.5 point favorites in this game. I mean, Geno's played really, really well.
I'm going with the 12th man.
I love this line. I like Seattle a lot in this game. It's a candidate for me for my best bet, the elephant pick, as we call it. Seattle, Dana, we're both on Seattle minus 3.5. All right, very good. Next game on the board was supposed to be a really good football game. I do not think that it is. It is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to play the San Francisco 49ers. Once again, cross-country stuff we're talking about. Tampa Bay is 6-6. The 49ers are 8-4. The 49ers are only 3.5 point favorites in this game. Over in 37.5. Tampa Bay, I mean, they come off of that win on Monday night against New Orleans where they had no right to win the game. They were down by 13 with 5 minutes left in the game. They got 2 touchdowns late. I don't think a lot about that Tampa Bay team. Everybody's like, Tom Brady going to start to run. I don't buy it one bit. But the big news out of San Francisco is Garoppolo's probably gone for the year, and now they're on to their third string quarterback because Trey Lance was the opening day starter. They get Garoppolo back in the fold after that weird contract situation, whether or not they're going to trade him or not. All right, Jimmy's team going forward, and they certainly look like a contender, but now they're dealing with Brock Purdy, who is Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant, but Mr. Irrelevant got all the reps this summer because he was number 2.
He played pretty well. I watched the game it was against. They beat the Miami Dolphins. It was a pretty good football game.
Came in, he didn't miss a beat.
No, he looked pretty good.
He knew what he was doing.
I mean, he went to Iowa State, and he played all 4 years there. I read something about him. He had offers from Alabama and huge college football powerhouses. He chose Iowa State. I think he may be from that area. In any event, I mean, this is his first time really playing, obviously, and he looked pretty good. And they're gonna ramp him up and get him up to speed. San Francisco minus 3.5 in this game. I'm gonna take the lead. I'm gonna lay the points. I think the Buccaneer team sucks. I think it sucks.
I agree. I'm going with the 49ers as well.
And the 49er defense is kick-ass. I don't see Tampa Bay putting up many points against them. I just don't. We're on to Sunday Night Football already. I think the show's going pretty quick. In any event,
the Chargers again.
Everybody,
I swear to God, it was Sunday night, Monday night, or no, 2 Sunday night games. Now they're on again.
We talked about the beginning of the season.
Hell?
Dan, we talked about the beginning of the season. How good everybody thought that West Division was going to be, and it didn't turn out to be that way. It is the Miami Dolphins.
They get 3 Sunday night games.
Better than my team. I freaking hate it when my team plays at night. I like the Sunday 1 p.m. slot in the Eastern time zone here.
But I'm tired of watching the same crap.
Oh, you get to see the Dolphins, and then they're a pretty good football. I think it's a fun football game. I don't have any problems with Sunday Night Football's game. Sunday Night Football's game. I have a problem with Monday Night Football coming up, but the Sunday Night Football game.
Oh, yeah, that's a jeez.
Miami's 8-4 on the season. They are 3-point favorites out in LA. The Chargers are 6-6 on the year. We talked about it just a second ago. Miami comes off of their loss in San Francisco, where, Garoppolo went out really early. I tell you what, Tua looked off. That's by far the worst game I've seen him play. It's a timing offense, and he can't be off. He's generally pretty accurate. He was not. He was erratic. At best. The offense kind of struggled. Did they stay out in
California?
I don't know about any of that. That's a long time to stay out there. Maybe. They're out there, but
that's
I don't
a long
know. I think they probably
flight. I'd rather stay out there.
Chargers 6-6 come off of that loss against Vegas. A very entertaining game. They're a super inconsistent team. This is a must-win game for the Chargers here at 6-6 with the AFC the way it is. And, losing any tiebreakers you would with head-to-head stuff at Miami. Once again, Miami 3-point favorite in this game. I don't like Brandon Staley as their head coach. I think they need a more stable coach.
Well, he's a defensive guy, and their defense sucks.
They can't stop the run.
Their defense sucks.
They can't stop the run, but that's not what the Dolphins do. Miami -3 in this game against the Chargers.
Miami.
Not me. I think the Chargers win this game outright. I think it was probably just a blip for Tua. I think he's going to play a lot better. That's the first time I've really, see him be erratic and not consistent in regards to their timing offense. But I like the Chargers in a must-win situation. I'm going to take the points in this game, and I think the Chargers might win this game outright. We are already on to Monday Night Football. Is this game, or is this show wildly fast, Dan, since you're on to...
I don't know. It seems fast.
So, maybe I'm talking too fast. Monday Night Football is the New England Patriots traveling out to Arizona.
Well, some of these games suck, so there's...
More cross-country stuff. The Patriots are -1 as the line goes. The over-under is 44. New England is 6-6 on the season. Arizona's a disappointing 4-8. New England comes off of their loss in Buffalo. Limited offense. We talk about it all the time. Patricia's the offensive coordinator. It's a mess.
Yeah, New England, Matt Patricia.
Mac Jones is all pissed off, yelling at him.
I would be too. Arizona, they're just freaking awful. I don't know. That team's just such a disappointment.
They're out of it. At 4-8. They're not eliminated. There's only 2 teams eliminated. It's the Houston Texans, and unfortunately, my Chicago Football Bears got eliminated last week. They're on bye this week.
Holy shit! Yeah, there's buys.
There's 3. Yeah, this is the last week for the buys. It is the last week for the buys. So Arizona, I don't know. Arizona, speaking of buys, Arizona comes off bye. They're well rested. That Kyler Murray thing, and he got his contract. He kind of bullied his way into getting that contract, or his agent kind of bullied him into a contract.
Then that clause about you need to study. I think you need to have more. You need to study clauses in other contracts too.
They're
awful.
New England travels with a pretty good defense in this game. New England's a 1-point favorite on the road, Dan. I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals. They're at home.
I'm taking them because they're at home.
Me too. They can be dynamic on offense. New England does bring a pretty good, defense to the field, certainly. But we're both on the Arizona Cardinals getting the 1 point.
Home.
So I hear
I probably won't watch this game.
Monday night. I won't.
I'll turn it on, but won't finish it.
I won't because Katie and I are going to see Mark Roberge, who's the lead singer of OAR, and it's up in Cleveland at the Supper Club there. It's just him. Without the band and things like that, we're big fans of that band called OAR. Partially, the show was named after a song of theirs called On Top the Cage. Obviously, Cage also is a reference to the cashier at a casino. In any event, we're looking forward to that, seeing some live music. We love that. So nice. I will not be watching this game either, and I'll give you a recap of what happens at that show next week, and we'll talk about the week going ahead.
Dan, do you need a driver?
Always.
Just so I don't have to watch this game.
Always. Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. The show's sold out. People are fans. I'm looking forward to it. It's a small little venue, intimate venue. It's going to be him and his acoustic guitar, and he's going to let it rip, and we're looking forward to it. So only 13 games on the schedule this week. Atlanta, Chicago, Green Bay, Indianapolis, New Orleans, and Washington. All on buys. We are on to our best bets called the Elephant Picks.
Oh, shit.
Dan, have you thought about it?
I did. Hold on. Minnesota.
Again, going back to the well.
Yep.
Going back to the well, Minnesota is an underdog in Detroit. I picked Detroit to win the game. I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks minus 3.5 against the Carolina Panthers. I think, it's a long way to travel. I don't think Carolina presents a lot of offense. I like the 12th man. I like Geno. I know they're down running backs. I think they cover this number easily and win this game by a touchdown or more. That is my best bet. Play it. Slim pickings this week, for football. We're done with college football, and we got to wait till bowl season or wait till the playoff games as well.
Yeah.
So we got the
Army-Navy.
Army-Navy, right? The Game of Honor. The Game of Honor, Army-Navy. I do like the Army-Navy game. I like the pageantry of it.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they have different, they have wild uniforms that they change every
the helmets.
year.
Navy's had some cool helmets in the past.
So I'll probably watch that. But that's it for football on Saturday and things like that. So anyway, that's the entire show. It probably went pretty fast this week. I know it was a little bit of a wreck. I didn't have my wife out here. Who's become a little, I wouldn't call her the producer, but she turns things on.
Our pre-show shots.
Yeah, our pre-show little beers. None of that happened. Apparently, they needed more drinks over there. They took a couple of damn Bud Lights.
Well, I'm going to have to go over there and see what they got.
We only had 8 to start with in here. Usually I have a full 12-pack for you. We only had 8. Anyway, guys, I'll play it back. I don't know if we got it right for you or not. It seemed a little bit...
We got it right for us.
We did, I suppose. It seemed a little bit helter-skelter there at the beginning, so sorry about any mistakes, but thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.